What is going on, my fellow zombie slayers? It is Nelly B here, and welcome back to a brand new zombies weapon comparison. In this series, we do what must be done and take at this point any number of weapons and compare them for things like ammo, damage, RPM, recoil, among many other things, and in the end, we sing Beauty of Annihilation together while I give you my personal opinion on which one I think is better. Today, my friends, is a special day. Today, we're going to be comparing every single version of the BlunderGat. I've been meaning to make this video for a while, but before I get into this, I wanted to show you how these weapons sound, seeing as this, along with the gameplay, will be your best way of understanding how these weapons work through YouTube.
A big fucking boom.
So with that out of the way, let's get into it. So starting off with the BlunderGat, the damage is 1500 up front and 300 at its furthest range. However, it does have a 7 times headshot multiplier, which is just ridiculous, one of the highest in zombies if you're not counting in the Ray Gun Mark II. The ammo is 1 in the chamber and 60 in reserves, and the reload time is almost non-existent and is obviously much better with Speed Cola. The fire mode is semi-automatic and the RPM doesn't really apply, I guess, because as soon as you reload the weapon, you're going to be able to shoot. And the recoil is, again, non-existent. You shoot, you reload, and as soon as you reload, you'll be in the exact same position as you started before you shot. This weapon also has a very, very high mobility. The sweeper takes on a lot of the same traits, however the damage and ammo are increased. The damage is increased to 5000 up front and 500 at its furthest range, still keeping that 7 times headshot multiplier, with an ammo increase of 2 in the chamber and 120 in reserves. Again, the reload time is almost non-existent, the fire mode is semi-automatic, and the RPM, I guess, would be doubled because you have 2 in the chamber now instead of 1, and the recoil non-existent again, and high mobility as always. Moving on to the AcidGat, the damage is 2000 at its closest range and 150 at its furthest range, and this weapon gets rid of that 7 times headshot multiplier. This is because it trades that out for a splash damage effect along with a monkey bomb effect. The ammo is 3 in the chamber and 90 in reserves, and let's just take a second real quick, okay? Let's count these. 1, 2, 3, 4. Why are there only 3 pellets in this thing at once? Anyways, I digress. The reload time is slightly quicker than the BlunderGat, however you probably won't even notice this in game, and the fire mode is a burst weapon. You're going to be shooting all 3 pellets at once. However, you can shoot 1 or 2 pellets, although I really don't think they intended to do this. This is probably just a glitch or something that happens when you either get hit by a zombie or it has something to do with double tap. I don't quite know. It's happened quite a few times, but not enough to go, yeah, sure, this thing regularly shoots 1 to 2 pellets. No, it's mainly going to shoot all 3. Now the RPM is going to be slightly slower than the BlunderGat, but that's only due to the fact that this thing has to shoot 3 bullets at once instead of 1. Upgraded, the AcidGat becomes the Vitrolic Withering. The damage is upgraded to 7,500 at its close range and 1,500 at its furthest range. The ammo is going to stay the same in the chamber, however you are going to get an increase of 150 in reserves. The reload time, fire mode, and fire rate are all going to be the same as the AcidGat. Moving on to our new segment, yes, we got a face cam, people. This segment is going to be called Anything to Say, where I post a tweet on Twitter before this video goes up to give you guys enough time to say anything you want about the weapon, map, or perk in question. Today is obviously going to be the BlunderGat, and I had a little help from a dude, you might know him. His name is Greg FPS, okay? He retweeted my tweet, and I greatly appreciate that because without him, it would have just been me and 2 other people going back and forth on why this weapon is so great. But with his help, we had a few more responses. So the original tweet said, anything to say about this glorious weapon we all miss so much? Hashtag call it Duty Zombies. Now the first comment goes to Aria316. This is actually a YouTube buddy of mine. He says, magnificent. Now yes, just look at that. How can you look at that weapon coming out of that box and say, No, you gotta have a reaction of, oh my god, oh, what the fuck, oh my, it's magnificent, it's amazing. This weapon is beautiful, and people miss it. The next comment goes to Seth Bradley. He says, the good old days, man. Playing this map back in BO2 was like no other, because I didn't play it. I was kind of too scared at the time. Yes, I know. It took me a while to outgrow my, very childish fears, and it hindered me a lot. I didn't end up playing this map until like a year after it came out, so I didn't really experience the good old days. But when people were getting hyped and excited for Black Ops 3, I played it about 2 years before that and just absolutely went, this is amazing. Moving on, we have Razor Rims saying, we'll be getting our hands back on it soon. Yes, I really hope we do. Treyarch, please, please, please bring it back. I don't want an Easter egg, I don't want a reference, I want this weapon. Maybe make it a little bit different, and from what we saw in the Voyage of Despair trailer, there's going to be sort of an acid element in that map in some way or another, either through a grenade or a weapon. We know that for a fact because we see it in the trailer, that stuff right there. I probably have it down there somewhere, I don't know. But we definitely see that, and hopefully that is like, yeah, you're getting this weapon back, guys. Just hold your horses. I think it'd be great. It was one of the only other weapons that I had wished came back in Chronicles. But hopefully we get it in BO4. Max Sturm says, big boy, big pop, big man. You got it right, Sturm, I don't know. I'm confused. I've recorded this video 3 times already. Scorpiolo says, it's coming home, and yeah, dude, you're right. Or at least, I hope you're right. Mr. Cold Harbor says that it's the best wonder weapon, excluding the original ray gun. Now, I'm just gonna leave it here and say,
yeah, well, you know, that's just like, your opinion, man.
I love this weapon, I think it's great, but I don't think it is one of the best, unless you're just going off how it plays in the map. Then I think it's one of the best for that, but I don't think it's one of the best for damage or high rounds or anything like that. But yeah, it's one of the best, sure. And Mana Yoshi says Olympia 2.0, and I couldn't agree more. Or just, you know, beefed up pack-a-punched executioner. And for the final comment, Zombie Slayer says legendary. Yes, this weapon is so legendary that they're like, how can we bring this single weapon back? Let's remake Mob of the Dead. No, I'm pretty sure that's not their thinking, although it would have been mine. This weapon is great, and hopefully we see it in Blood of the Dead. Let me know down in the comments below if you're hyped, and you're excited, and you're hopeful for this weapon coming back in Blood of the Dead. Now, before I give you my definitive answer on which one I think is better, I want to go over a few things that I may have missed or just wasn't able to get to. This is more of a fun facts section of the video. So to start, if you guys didn't know, your movement speed is not affected at all while aiming down sights with the BlunderGat. However, this does not carry over to the AcidGat or Vitrolic Withering, something I definitely had to take into consideration. Every single version of this weapon has the ability to make crawlers. This includes the regular version of the BlunderGat and the upgraded version, the Sweeper. This may have something to do with the bullet spread. Speaking of, the bullet spread on the non-AcidGat variants is actually really cool, and something I didn't figure out until making this video. The bullets spread out in a horizontal line, which explains why there are crawlers, kind of, sort of, I guess. Sure, Treyarch. However, this does make me like this weapon even more. Now, I may or may not have mentioned this in the beginning of the video, but when you pick the BlunderGat up from the Warden's office, you only get 59 bullets in reserves, which doesn't really affect you that much, but still, it's just kind of weird. While you're there though, make sure you listen to this audio cue.
I'm coming for you, 872B!
The inmate number he yells out, 872B, is in fact Al's number. I'm currently planning a video talking about and explaining Mob of the Dead in depth, but for those of you unaware, Al is sort of the main character of this map. He plans the escape, knocks out the guard, and at the end of the Easter egg, it's everyone versus Al and the zombies. We currently don't have every detail needed to explain this, but just in case you can't wait for my video on the matter, I'll link a few videos down in the description that go much deeper into this topic. I may have also mentioned this briefly, but the BlunderGat is a portmanteau, or portmanteau, it's spelled out on the screen for you, of both blunderbuss and Gatling gun. A portmanteau is a word blending the sounds and combining the meanings of two others. And to help picture this, I worked overnight creating this animation. Enjoy.
I don't know what this is, but it's kind of hot.
In conclusion, after everything I found out about this weapon and its many variants, I have to say I still love every single one of them. They're both pretty easy to get, but in every situation, whether it be getting the one from the warden's office, hitting the box, especially in the middle of the round, and even building and placing the AcidGat kit can be very tricky and has caused many rage quits. Not my proudest moments. Don't do things during the middle of rounds, kids. I love the monkey bomb effect from the vitriolic withering, however, if you get too close, it can damage you and kill you pretty easily. The damage is on the lower side of winter weapons even compared to ones in the same map, and it also loses the headshot multiplier the non-AcidGat variants have. I also love the versatility of the BlunderGat. It kills Brutus with ease and is still effective against zombies up until round 49 without double tap. From round 50 and up, the sweeper is a 2-shot to the head and continues to drop off drastically from there. Even with this being a factor, I still think the sweeper takes the cake. It can create crawlers if you're not careful, but it's high fire rate, high mobility, and high damage, along with the perks in this map, which I haven't even considered yet. This weapon is one for the ages. Do you agree or disagree, and if so, why? If you're interested in the series and you want to see more of it, feel free to recommend what weapons you want to see go head to head in the next one. Also, let me know how you feel about that new segment, Anything to Say. I try to take inspiration when I'm creating new things for my videos from other YouTubers. I try to put my own spin on them as much as possible. I know some people might say, hey, JC does this, or Greg FPS also does this, but I feel like I need to interact with you guys more on Twitter. I'm always ranting and raging on Twitter, and I feel like I need to dial that back and just interact with you guys more. So if you want to follow me over there and get updated on everything, how these videos are going, and interact with Anything to Say, then feel free to follow me over there at LB_777, and always down in the link in the description you can find the link to my Twitter. If you guys are new to this channel and you like this video, definitely subscribe, more to come just like it. And if you guys did enjoy, make sure to leave a like, and if you're new to the channel, feel free to subscribe. That's gonna be it for the video. Peace.
For the 9-6. Hey yo, my pen and paper cause a chain reaction to get your brain relaxing. A zaniac, the maniac in action, a brainiac in fact, son. You mainly lack attraction. You look insanely whack when just a fraction of my tracks run. My rhyming skills got you climbing hills. I travel through your mind.